Hey Anna, hey Anna. Hello, welcome to Star Songs. We always start with a prayer. Great Spirit, Divine Mother, Divine Father, please be with me in the here and now. Please be with all who are here in the present moment, shared as a circle of light in the here and now, across all times, spaces, realities. I ask that you please hold me, guide me, help me share the loving messages of Divine Mother and Father, of the cosmos, of the universe, of all universes, that express itself within our reality and all realities as a divine love shared with all children of creation. We are the children of Source, Cosmic Mother and Cosmic Father, who hold us. Please help me share the divine message of our cosmic parents from our cosmic source in the here and now. Through all stars of perception, through all stars of creation, through all stars of the night sky that carry the neural pathways of the source and cosmic mind and heart in the here and now. Helping us heal our family trees, our representatives of Cosmic Mother and Cosmic Father as our mother and father in the human realm in the here and now, across all times, dimensions, spaces and realities. Please help us heal the wounds of human error that have come in as part of our karmic lessons and journeys of learning across all our lifetimes, as the oneness expressed as many multifaceted expressions, all connected to the now. Calling in all the planetary bodies that hold the archetypal templates of our macro consciousness. Calling in the crystalline bodies and divas, holding the archetypal crystalline templates for our microcosm. Calling in all of the messengers, guides, our teams, those that are here to support the way of love and light, of love and darkness, to heal all fears, delusions, mayas, glamours and cyclic woundings or patterns in the here and now as we share this journey of the awakening of the cosmic sun, of our star system, in which our bodies and hearts and minds are being transformed with perfect opportunity to clear and transform anything we no longer want to carry as a density. We have this choice, and I ask you, Great Spirit, Prime Source, Cosmic Mother and Cosmic Father, to please hold us and guide us in this time of transition on Earth. Calling in the Ascended Masters, the Angelic Kingdom, the Devic Crystalline Kingdom, the Archangelic Kingdom, and all beings that I hear in service to humanity's development at this time, in connection with the solar and lunar transformations occurring on this beautiful Earth Gaia star that is choosing to expand her and his divine consciousness. And it is up to us to make the choice and the choices to upgrade with her. Thank you, Great Spirit. Thank you, Divine Mother and Divine Father. I love you. We love you. We love Gaia. And we are grateful for this here and now. By the power of three, perfect Trinity, let it be done, let it be done, let it be done. Thank you. The divine template of life is held by the Divine Mother and Divine Father that hold their divine children of all planetary systems, all stars, all universes, of all races, of all genetic codes, whether they are ignorant of the Divine Mother and Divine Father or not. The cosmic parents that exist in the living and breathing and the space between, which we perceive as death. The living and breathing and the space between are caressed and held and loved and observed by the Divine Mother and Divine Father of Prime Source. This cosmic presence and force, in which the forces within our being and throughout our being, whether we are in the physical experience or we are not. Divine Mother and Divine Father love us unconditionally. So much that they allow us to make choices and observe us as we make these choices, and yet nurture us at any possibility, at any chance they can possibly get. Though time on earth has been trying and challenging for many beings, relating to their family tree and what they perceive as their mother and father in the physical, perceptional, experiential reality in the earth, on the earth, in the here and now. Human error, human wounding that manifest in cycles as part of our lessons and learning in the here and now across many lifetimes can seem cruel. The pains in which people endure and continue to carry through their lineage is not what Divine Mother and Father would want for us ultimately. But there are pathways that we as a race and a collective, and a race of many races with many genetic codes and genomes, must overcome in the dreaming of God and Goddess, to remember to light member the team that we are, of the oneness that we are. At times, what we perceive as individuals and the collective stay in unnecessary suffering. But in saying that, obviously on some level, part of the process that we as a collective are in and we have the choice as a collective to move our way out of. When we are ready, the more we commit to our self-healing relative to our mother and father that have manifested here in this lifetime, across many lifetimes, the better equipped we are to start to connect and receive the love of Divine Mother and Divine Father. Wounding is a block at times when unrealized and unhealed to the connection to the Divine Source that expresses itself as Divine Mother and Divine Father. What we perceive here in this planet at this time are portions at times of the cosmic love and experience that we have here for us, waiting within us from Divine Mother and Divine Father. Though, as we mentioned, the wounding creates block in at times being able to witness and receive this within ourselves and around us in our experience as what we perceive as individuals in the here and now throughout the collective. The more that we commit to our self-healing around our Divine Mother and Divine Father that have manifested as representatives of Mother and Father, the more fluid our relationship within ourselves to these cosmic energies of Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine will be. In many ways, the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, and the Divine Feminine and the Divine Masculine are methods and expressions of Prime Source, of giving and receiving and giving. As we go through the process of what we perceive as time and space on Earth, we find different ways to relate and experience these energies, or these methods of God and Goddess, these methods of Prime Source, of maintaining the Holy Trinity of life. We are divine children. We are divine children of Prime Source, of Divine Masculine, of Divine Feminine, of Divine Father and Divine Mother. And we incarnate as a fraction of our beingness, experiencing itself as perceivable physicality, at times not understanding the greater expansiveness of our beings, and in a way falling victim to our circumstance, which we feel shapes us. And it does, in this particular experience, in this here and now. But when we lose sight of our true expansiveness, when we are being called to remember who we are. Contrast is part of that experience. Contrast creates diversity of ranges of emotion and thought, which give us choices, many, many choices, infinite choices, whether we see them or whether we ignore to see them, whether we perceive ourselves to be the limited human being or the expansive human being, the limited man or woman or the expansive man or woman, the limited mother and father or the expansive mother and father. These are all interchangeable as expressions of Prime Source that are here to help us give and receive and give in the exchange of the no thing. And the no thing is love, in form or no form, experiencing itself exponentially. Divine Mother and Divine Father love all of creation and all the possibility of creation. And there is a deep reverence for all of life and all of the space between life, which we perceive as death, which is just possibility waiting to be fulfilled in purpose. Divine Mother and Divine Father share a unity. No matter what is perceived of them or projected onto them, and the archetypal expression of them or the method of them in terms of how we perceive our mother and father in the physical reality or the perceivable physical reality, they are in union, in total unconditional love and truth and acceptance. For between them is all of creation, and between them holds the balance, the children of possibility and purpose on many different planes and realities across all times and spaces in the here and now. And we are representatives of this Divine Mother and Divine Father and Divine Child Trinity within us and throughout our reality, whether we realize this or not. It is our divine purpose to acknowledge our perceivable physical experience as like a mirror which reflects back to us our choices, which is the abundance of love. How we realize this love or do not realize this love creates what we perceive as polarity in love and fear. Fear is the absence of mastery or the absence of understanding. Therefore, we fear what we do not comprehend or do not know how to move through. In the front of fear, if we see it on the surface and we do not go further, we will perceive it to be a separate thing to us, But as we step into our fear of what we are reflected back to on the surface, we can actually realize what was not realized before, which is love. Everything and every non-thing, every no thing is love. We have the choice and abundance of perception. Based on our experiences and the way we've perceived them, we create reverberations of narratives across many planes of our multidimensional beingness. And we, for the purpose of development or even pure experience, we act out or play out these narratives in various different vibrations of the oneness that we are, of various different narratives that are succinct to each other within ourselves. Divine Mother and Divine Father want to come through us and are us if we understand our connection with Prime Source is paramount to being in harmony with giving and receiving and giving, with the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. We are seen, we are heard, we are loved, we are held. Though we also understand that in this perceivable physical reality, the abundance of choice creates opportunities that are not so pleasant to experience. And we understand that there has been a huge amount of contrast through trauma, through narratives introduced by the collective beyond human perception and beyond human experience, for we are brothers and sisters. Malevolent actions taken without consciousness, without awareness, the degradation of someone's connection to Prime Source has created a polarity in many aspects of our collective consciousness that involves the victim and perpetrator extremes along the same timeline. This is why we talk about trauma and healing ourselves of any contrast that we've experienced relating to our representations of Mother and Father across our timelines and across our lineages. The more committed we are to healing a lot of these patterns, the more balanced we become. The more unified we are within our own Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine as a result. It is imperative at this time to be healing those aspects and that wounding within oneself. This is not encouraging beings to put themselves in dangerous situations if their particular mother and father representatives are not capable of upholding the divine masculine and divine feminine expansiveness at this time. And it also feels important to mention that if you feel that you are a victim to actions taken by these representatives, that regardless of what has been done, ultimately you have the power to change your story. We cannot change or control other people's experiences or the way in which they perceive us, but we can heal ourselves. Divine Mother and Divine Father are so complete and whole within the Prime Source connection that they would never want us to suffer unnecessarily. But they respect, as Prime Source is the source which guides us all, it is up to us each day to make choices that open us up to a deeper love and presence from Prime Source, expressed as Divine Mother and Divine Father. This can be done through prayer, intention, forgiveness, self-love. There are many ways to bridge this gap within ourselves. And this would be a great service for all beings around you. For when we heal ourselves and we commit to ourselves as self-healers, we actually change our reality and we change the influence and impact of malevolent energies that are out of balance unto source consciousness. And we balance the contrast within our own being by walking the middle way. Therefore, we change the reality for the collective every time we move through something. Every time we move beyond a perception that kept us in a victimhood or kept us in a perpetrator, we actually unify the collective, because we are the collective and we are in oneness. And there is no separation but that which we perceive to be separate, which is the illusion of the here and now experience that we're having. Divine Mother and Divine Father love us as divine children, and within us exist as divine templates in which we can experience the love that maybe we did not get from the representatives who are perceived as mother and father in our family tree. Or maybe we did not get to offer that divine love to children in our physical reality either. We understand this is a complex process, and it requires a lot of self-love to navigate. Though, if we want to be in connection with Prime Source, which we have this possibility right now, there is no division but that which we perceive and project as division or separation. We can unify and heal and become the Holy Trinity of creation, which is Divine Mother, Divine Father, and Divine Child. If you as a child experienced severe abuse from these representatives or from authority figures or perceived authority figures, projected authority figures, we are so sorry you have had this experience. Divine Mother and Divine Father hear every word every prayer. Nothing is ignored. You are not ever ignored on the deeper levels and the spiritual connection to life. They experienced everything that you've ever experienced with you. As conduits, as above, so below, regardless of our experience of victimhood and perpetrator, we must find the middle road to come back into unity with that which is destructive, damaging, in terms of the narratives that have existed across many timelines, relative to our collective consciousness experience. Remember that victim and perpetrator are across the same timeline. They are extremes that exist at polar opposites. The way in which we heal ourselves is by remembering that we are, at times, victims and perpetrators equally, and sometimes we are one more than the other. Not to take away from somebody's experience in whatever extreme they had, and not to dismiss the intensity of these experiences, but more to remind people to remember Ra is the light of Ra, and member is a team of oneness. That it is our responsibility to bridge the gap between these extremes. And Divine Mother and Divine Father are there always if you need to pray or connect or find a deeper connection to Prime Source. All you must do is intend, is pray, find some way in which you know you are being heard and seen, regardless of whether you have anyone physically in your presence that can see or hear you. It does not matter. You are loved, you are love, and it is your perception which you can choose or unconsciously let direct you. That is the choice of a conduit. As above, so below. And humans are conduits. When we recognize the power that we have as a collective in the oneness of Divine Mother and Divine Father of Prime Source, as divine children, how rapidly our realities will transform like a cellular metamorphosis of caterpillar to butterfly as we start to be able to receive more of the expansive opportunity and possibility that we are, and the love in which is always around us infinitely at whatever level we are ready to receive. It is our choice as a collective how fast or slow we move through this, though I do suggest, and we suggest, that the more committed you are, unwaveringly committed to your self-development and growth, doing your best not to stay at a plateau for too long, finding some sort of way to build momentum and maintain momentum in this self-healing endeavor, that we are here by spirit, by Prime Source, as part of our experiential, collective, Christ consciousness reality in the here and now, as Divine Mother, as Divine Father, and Divine Children, as the Holy Trinity of Prime Source in the here and now that we are. Thank you. We love you. We are love. You are love. I am love. Remember, we are the ones we have been waiting for.